Hello everyone. Today we are going to continue class 12th coordination compound part 4. Three parts we have already done. In last class we have gone through the VBT. VBT is the valence bond theory. We have gone through what is the assumption of VBT, how we can calculate, and second what all drawback were there. This VBT is ligand based theory. Now we are coming on the stability of coordination compound. Which compound will be more stable depends on the ligand. If suppose we have the strong ligand, we have the few example of a strong ligand like cyanide ion, carbon monoxide. They are the example of strong ligand. They are behaving as a stable coordinate compound. Thermodynamic equilibrium constant should be high. Second, the stability depend on the interaction between the metal and ligand. What type of coordination is there in between metal and ligand? Next, if interaction is strong, thermodynamic stability strong. Reaction between metal ion and ligand is based on Lewis acid and Lewis base. Who is behaving? We can classify on the basis of their electron donating behavior. So Lewis acid and Lewis base. The greater the value of stability constant, more stable is the complex. Stability coordination compound. Suppose we have taken the example, there is a reaction M plus L, reversible mark Ml. So applying the mass of action, concentration of Ml divided by concentration of M and concentration of L. So K is the formation equilibrium constant. That is denoted by K. K directionally proportional to stability of complex. Now this is the stability of coordination compound. In a simple language, we can say stability is inversely proportional to electronegativity of ligand. If electronegativity of ligand, we can say if a compound is having more electronegative element, then ligand will be weak. Few examples are here. We can say cyanide ion is having the maximum stability, that is 5.5 into 10 to power 18, and ammonia ion having the minimum stability. According to electronegativity, the sequence is FONCl. So nitrogen is more electronegative than carbon. So cyanide ion is more stable. Cyanide is more stable than amine complex. It concludes that the cyano is a stronger ligand than amine. Stability depends on the charge density of the central metal ion and nature of ligand. Now we will come on the next theory, that is the CFT, that is called the crystal field theory. Crystal field theory, according to this theory, there is no coordination bond between metal and ligand. They are behaving like both having the ionic bond between the metal and ligand. We can say in simple language, it assumes ligands and central metal atom CMA interaction to be purely ionic. It doesn't explain the covalent nature. Then it assumes ligand and CMA to be point charge or dipoles. They are behaving as a dipole. So one is having the plus charge and another one is having the minus charge. So they are behaving as a dipole. According to CFT, it explains splitting of only d orbitals. Means there will be the splitting of d orbital. D orbital can be split into two parts, but there is no comment on s and p orbital. There is nothing mentioned about the s and p orbital. CFT always give exact value of magnetic moment, but in the VBT we were not able to find out the exact value of CFT exact value of magnetic moment. The CFT does not give information about the hybridization. This is the weak point of this theory. For hybridization we have to go through the VBT. The crystal field theory was proposed by Hans Bethe and Ben Balk. Crystal field theory assumes that the interaction between metal ion and ligand is purely electrostatic. Few silent features of CFT are central atom or ion is surrounded by the various ligands which are either negative charge or neutral molecule. Electrostatic interaction between metal ligand is ionic. Central metal atom have 5 degenerated orbitals. We know very well, we have studied in class 11th also. D has the 5 orbitals dxy, dyz, dzx and dx square minus y square, and last one is a dz square. We know 3 of them are on the main axis and 2 are on the in between the axis. So this is clear. Dx, dy, dz, we can see by the picture what is the structure. Now we are coming on the silent features of the CFT. So when the ligand approaches the metal ion due to repulsion force, the degeneracy of d orbital is destroyed and they split into two groups of different energy level. One is the EG and second is the T2G orbitals. This effect is called the crystal field splitting. It is defined as the energy of the electronic configuration in the ligand field minus the energy of the electronic configuration in the field. CFS, there is we will calculate the one thing, that is CFSE. CFSE called the crystal field splitting energy. In d orbital, five type of orientation is there in the M, dx square and y square on the axis, and dxy, dyz and dzx are on the in between the axis. We can calculate CFSE for tetrahedral and octahedral. In octahedral ligands approaches, there is a high repulsion between the electrons cause of the high energy. Due to repulsion, the orbitals along the axis of ligand acquire higher energy while those lying in between the ligands acquire the less energy. It doesn't show the overlapping. From the crystal field stability, energy, the stability of the complexes can be known. What is the definition of CFT? CFT can be defined like this: splitting of 5 degenerated d orbitals, crystal field stabilization energy CFSE, change in energy achieved by filling up electron in orbital in complex metal ion. We can say CFSE is equal to E ligand field minus E field isotopic field. High spin complexes, this is spin free, greater number of unpaired electron and hence higher value of resultant spin and magnetic moment is called high spin complex. There is a low spin complex, there is a two pairing energy. The energy required to pair two electron against the electron-electron repulsion in the same orbital of the metal atom. Now is the application of the CFT. We can use this one for the tetrahedral complexes. In the tetrahedral complexes like MX4 and the metal atom or ion is placed at the center of the regular tetrahedron and 4 ligands are placed at the 4 corner of the tetrahedron. We can see in this, ligands approach the central metal atom in between 3 coordinates x, y, z. In case of a strong field ligand, the electron prefer to pair up in Eg orbital, giving up low spin complexes, while in case of weak field ligands, the electron prefer to enter high energy T2G orbitals, giving more unpaired electron and hence form high spin complexes. In simple language, we can say d orbital has the 5 so that these 5 can be split into two parts. One is on the Eg and second is the T2G. In simple word, we know whenever electrons are there, they will divide into two parts, split into two parts. 2 will go in the Eg part and 3 will go in the T2G part. There is a line between that is called the barycenter line. So total energy should be 0 Eg to T2G. One is the Eg and second is the T2G. Eg where 2 electrons will go and T2G where 3 electrons will go. So this is the basic thing, and barycenter should be in the center. So the energy between T2G and Eg is fixed. Where 2 electrons will go, it will go 0.6, and where 3 electrons will go, there will be 0.4. So total is constant, that is 0. Application of crystal field theory to octahedral complexes. MXN, the metal atom or ion is placed at the center of regular octahedral while 6 ligands occupy the position at 6 vertices of octahedron. 2 orbital x square minus y square and z square are axial, greater repulsion, and dxy, dyz, dzx less repulsion. In octahedral case, we can see 6 ligands should be there, where there will be two type of thing. One is the less energy and second is the high energy. If two orbital dx square minus y square and dz square are axial, if they are on the axis, they have the high energy, so there will be more repulsion. And dxy, yz, dz, this will be in between the axis, so there will be less repulsion. Five d orbital lose degeneracy and split into 2-point group. The group T2G lower energy while EG group has higher energy. So we can make out the difference. What is the difference between the octahedral and tetrahedral? In case of tetrahedral, T2G will be upper side and EG will be downside. There will be less CFSE in comparison to octahedral. If T2 will go upside, means dxy, dyz, zy will be upper side. And dx square minus y square, dz square will be downside. But in the case of octahedral, it will be just opposite. In case of octahedral, dx square minus y square and dz square will go upside, but in the and dxy, dyz, dzx will be downside. So there is a relation between delta T is equal to 4/9 of delta O, means energy CFSE of tetrahedral is equal to 4/9 of CFSE of octahedral. What are the application of crystal field theory to octahedral complexes? Experimental calculations show that the energy of T2G orbital is lowered by 0.4 of octahedral, and energy of EG orbital is increased by 0.6 octahedral. Thus, energy difference between T2G and EG orbital is CFSE of octahedral or 10DQ, which is crystal field splitting energy. CFSE increases with the increasing in strength of ligands and oxidation state of central metal ion. What are the limitation of crystal field theory? It does not explain about the anything about the s and p orbital. It does not explain about the pi bonding, cannot explain partly covalent nature of the metal ligand bond. Spectrochemical series, water is a strong ligand than OH, which is not explained satisfactorily. This is all about the CFT. Have a good luck. All the best.